All right, call the meeting to order. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you guys for attending tonight. We'll start with roll call.
Trustee Sewell? Yeah. Trustee Stewart?
Here.
Trustee Ball?
Present.
Trustee Gunther?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes, next item on the agenda is public comment. I'm going to leave it open for the public, but then once we see that that's kind of not going to happen, or when it's dead, I want to call up Dana Callahan from Homework Hoops and Helps in Hoops. So anybody have any public comment, feel free to step to the podium. If not, Dana, maybe the floor is yours. We'll get you in here earlier.
Thank you. Good evening, and thanks for letting me come and talk to you about Homework Help and Hoops. We call it HHH for short. It just makes things simple. We have been doing this since the summer of 2013, feeding kids in our community during the summer, the children that can't get food at home. It's a free lunch, and then we pair that with educational activities to try and keep their skills up during the summer. It's Monday through Thursday for 8 weeks, and the kids arrive at noon for their free lunch between 12 and 12:30, and then there's 3 half-hour rotations that keep them busy and occupied, including free camp-type activities that these kids, I mean, they're lucky to have food at home, so we look at it as an opportunity to experience camp for real without having to pay anything to come. So it's a wonderful program for the kids, and we take great pride in being able to offer and sponsor it for the kids in our community. Before COVID, we averaged 83 kids a day. At St. John Church, it was a hopping place. During COVID, 2020 and 2021, we did drive-through camp. So they got activities every day that they would come through and pick up their food and an activity. And then this year 2022, we were able to go back to regular on-site camp, and we averaged 54 kids a day. So it was a big success. Everybody loved being back in the building. Our biggest group happens to be our youth group, because they are old enough to find us, and word of mouth spreads, and those kids come, and it's a safe place for them to hang out, and Mr. Jim is responsible for that age group and taking care of them. But the church recognized that was a need too, and our pastor, Pastor Jen, she developed a youth group organization around that to give those kids a place to come every Sunday evening at the church. So we've kept those kids involved and hopefully off the streets and active, doing things at the church during the whole school year now. And they can't wait for summer camp to come. So I think by word of mouth, we can expect a bigger crowd this year. We thank the township for your great support over the last few years. Not only do you give us a donation to help towards the food that we feed the kids, you help us provide the Tote Me Home packages that we send home with the kids, so they have food over the weekends. And they're food that the kids can top a can themselves and heat up in a microwave and can do on their own. So I'm here to say thank you for your previous support, and hopefully we can count on you for this coming year, as the price of everything, as everybody knows, has gone up. We're going to have to do some additional fundraising this year.
What questions you guys have for Dana? I guess my question is, and I think I know the answer, but when does the program actually start, and how many days a week do you do this?
We start on June 5th this year, and we go to July 27th, and it's Monday through Thursday. So when the kids leave on Thursday, they have their bag of food. It has three dinner meals in it for them, and snacks.
And then how how would you say, a child or a family or whatnot get signed up?
They just contact the church. Last year I gave the township, some application forms that they could pass out to families in need. We send them home in the Tote Me Home bags that go out before school finishes, so that those kids that receive the weekend bags know that they can still continue to receive them during the summer. And the food pantry distributes them every Tuesday and Friday when they pass out food.
And what is, do you know a number, like what your maximum capacity would be?
When we were at that 83, we were really close to maximum. I think with more volunteers, we definitely have the space that we could provide more. We have the space for the lunch in the fellowship hall, and then of course the education building, there's enough room. It's just the needing enough volunteers.
Well, I appreciate, Jim, I know you're always there, and then the post, and it looks like it's always been a great, I've always heard really great things about it. So, if there's no other questions, last year we did $3,200 that went for the food and things like that. And I really liked the way we did it last year, where you knew your needs, you gave us the receipts, and we took care of that. It seemed like it worked pretty well.
I'm happy to do that.
We can move that forward on the agenda if you guys would like to make a motion.
Motion that we move forward on the agenda.
It's
Resolution 2023-R01.
$3,500 or was it?
32.
32, yep.
32. Who's gonna make a motion? Was that Brad?
Yeah, I'll motion that we move it up and vote on it now.
Clint, are you
I'll
second?
second.
Okay.
All right, no other questions, we'll do a roll call.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Ball?
Yes.
Gunther?
Yes.
Sewell?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes, Dana, thank you.
Thank you
for
very
the
much.
work you do too.
Thank you very much. I would like to just show you, this is this year's t-shirt, and Township made the back as one of our sponsors. So,
Okay.
All right.
thank you.
Yes, thanks, Dana.
Thank you very much.
Okay, moving on in the agenda, we'll go to the consent agenda. We'll be approving items A through D. Kirk?
So you have the minutes from the last meeting, and then you have the reports from the assessor, the highway commissioner, and from myself.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as it stands.
I'll second.
Okay, no other questions? Roll call?
Trustee Ball?
Yes.
Gunther?
Yes.
Sewell?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes. Okay, next item is the approval of bills, and we'll start with general assistance. Jim?
Okay, general assistance, we had expenditures since the last meeting of $778.73.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, no questions? Roll call?
Trustee Gunther?
Yes.
Sewell?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
Ball?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
Okay, then in road and bridge, we had expenditures since the last meeting of $209,434.63.
I motion to approve?
I'll second.
No questions? Roll call?
Trustee Sewell?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
Ball?
Yes.
Gunther?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
Okay, there was nothing in the road and bridge equipment fund in the past 5 weeks. The town fund would be next, which had expenditures of $138,707.56.
And I want to mention on that, there was an additional payroll. That's why it's a little higher than normal on that one.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, no questions? Roll call?
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Ball?
Yes.
Gunther?
Yes.
Sewell?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
And finally, the last is the senior center, and we had expenditures of $9,262.65.
And want to mention on that one, so we had to purchase a lot of meat. Last month, our donations were down on that month. But the good news is that our donations have really pumped up in the last 2 weeks or so that's really good. And I'll explain later where we get a lot of those donations for and why we're doing what we're doing tomorrow. But also, I want to let you know that Gabby's done a wonderful job at making sure that we get that grant money. And we got another payment of grant money in, and so it was $40,000 last year. And when we started at this board, it was just $5,000. So, yeah.
That program still like operates in the black.
We brought in, I believe, it was about 4,000, you know, for the month. So, but again, we had to buy that to get us ahead. And we also have, it's in the budget, you know, I put that in the budget and stuff,
Okay,
so.
all right.
It depends, Brad. Some months we do better.
I'm just worried about a few people we do.
Yeah. So, okay. Any questions about any of the bills? No?
Can we
Okay.
get a motion on that one?
I motion to approve.
Thank you.
And I'll second.
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Ball?
Yes.
Gunther?
Yes.
Sewell?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes. Okay, next item, the reports by officers and committees. Kathy had another engagement tonight, but I'm sure, I believe she sent
sent
a
a report.
report, same as the assessor, and open it now for the trustees. Anybody has anything? Okay, I'll take the senior center then. I do want to start with, and it kind of, actually, you just said it. You know, sometimes does this center cost the taxpayers? Yeah, it does. It sometimes does cost a little bit, okay? But I feel, and I think that you guys all agree with me, these people have paid their taxes their entire life. And I had somebody come up to me today, that was their first time here. And this happens once a week. It was their first time here, and they were just so impressed and thankful that this existed. They were telling their friends to come. And so to me, our citizens deserve the best. And they deserve something that a lot of towns and townships don't offer. And to me, I'll fight that every day and argue with somebody about, you know, that they deserve this. And if we're gonna continue to find ways where we can just operate and doing fundraising. We do fundraisers in here, we do dances and stuff where we charge a minimal fee, but just to cover the cost. We get people to volunteer. So anyway, I'm proud of the center, and if it costs a little bit, I think that the citizens are okay with that as well. That's just me, and I wanted to make that point. But just want to say last month, we did 3 trips since the last meeting. Lewis and Clark Historical Site, which was really cool, and went to the Pump House for lunch. Then we went to the chocolate Mergazi's, and we went to the Campbell House, and that place is absolutely amazing. Everything is original from 1850. President Grant had dinner there many times, and I say anybody should go to this thing. It was, I could not believe that it was there. I never even heard about it. Downtown St. Louis, right next to Washington University. And we're gonna be going back there because people were just blown away by it. Yeah, the Campbell House. So they were a rich family back in the 1800s. And everything, I mean, stuff, it was sitting there exactly the way it was. And the beds, I mean, it's crazy. So anyway, we served 1,110 meals last month. Just today, we had almost 80 people in here. Also doing free tax service. It's another thing that we're doing in here, and it's packed almost every day in there. You gotta call up, it's on our website to make an appointment. You can come in and the professionals will do your taxes as long as they're not like too crazy complicated. You probably wanna go to somebody else for those. But it's for the seniors with AARP. And we also have early voting that starts next month in here, so the numbers will be higher than that as well. That's all I have on the senior center. Jim, you have something?
Yeah, just a couple quick things. I mentioned before and sent you stuff about the TOI scholarship that's available. I think, talk somebody actually into applying for it. But if you know anybody that wants to apply, the deadline's March 1st. Thanks to Scott Raho, last Thursday, I went to the CHS Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and it was absolutely incredible. So I would encourage everybody, this is gonna be an ongoing thing, I would encourage everybody to attend in the future, and maybe the township could somehow be involved. When they talked a lot about the 1961 high school basketball champions, Fred Riddle talked, who was on the team. He was fascinating. But all of a sudden I could think, it really wasn't the Collinsville High School Chaos. That was the Collinsville Township High School Chaos.
Well, they said
back
that
in
more than that
1961.
time. We got a lot of building that time.
You know, but it really was awesome. Also, I wanted to thank Kai Redmond, you know, he's our insurance guy, and the worst part about my job is handling the Freedom of Information request, and I actually got one this month about our liability insurance, and Kai was extremely helpful in helping me fulfill that request today. And I will, as Derek mentioned, we got early voting come up in here. I'll get the dates up on the website so people know when that is. Other than that, everything's going okay.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. And yeah, I had a meeting with the Chamber of Commerce today, and Unit 10 was there, and they mentioned that all those videos from that are actually on their YouTube page, and I've heard just great things, that how professional it was done and everything, so check it out.
I have
Okay.
a couple real fast.
Yeah.
How many FOIA requests do we get on average a month?
I would say on average, it's probably maybe one or even a little less than one. Like this
Okay.
month, I just did 2, which that is unusual. When I first started, we were getting a lot more.
Okay, I was just curious.
Actually, I had a call from a guy. I had a call from a guy last week who was like, say he had some kind of service. They assisted, you know, municipalities with handling FOIA requests. And they're, how many do you get? It's like, maybe average a half to one a month. He's like, oh, I guess I won't be of much help, because a lot of people get a whole lot more than that. And most of them, like the 2 I just did, they're commercial solicitation. They're people wanting to sell us something.
Gotcha.
So, you know, they wanna know what kind of insurance coverage do we have, so they know next year they can bid on it.
Yeah.
So,
And then for staff certifications, if you're interested, and they may have already done it, but Madison County Mental Health Board is offering mental health first aid certification. If you feel like any staff might benefit from that, but it's
No,
just
I
kind
think-
of, it's just kind of what to look for, like.
Who's doing that?
Madison County Mental Health Board. And so, you know, different sort of CPR first aid, AED, that's one, but then mental health first aid, and they offer it for adults and kids, so.
I'd like to do that. We did a CPR one here last year, but I'd like to do it once a year.
Yeah.
For all the staff here, and we have our machine and all that, but just to kind of keep fresh, and if they offer that, because we had to, it wasn't a lot, but we did pay last year, so I'd be curious. I'm gonna look into that, so thanks, Ashley.
When is that? Or what is?
It's the Madison County Mental Health Board, and they're the same ones that are trying to organize this, Project Homeless Connect, I think is what they're doing. But yeah, they offer, and you might have to pay, but you can also get group rates too. And I feel like a lot of people from the public might be interested in paying to get that certification, I don't know, but yeah, it's mental health first aid.
Okay, I'll check into it.
Yeah, you're so welcome.
Okay, next item is the update on the CSC parking lot project and approval of special meeting to award the project. So I was hoping we were gonna have it all in one meeting, but the deadline came up to Thursday, so we gotta wait. But right now, it looks like, Jim, what do we have? We're gonna probably have 5.
right now, there are 4 people that are what they would call plan holders that have taken the plan, so hopefully all 4 will bid. I emailed her again today, but I never heard anything back, so, because the bids are due Thursday at 10 a.m. So by Thursday at 10 a.m., we'll have a public bid opening at the office. And the people from Oates will be up there, and myself and Tara, whoever, anybody wants to come up, or they're welcome to come up. But then we'll have some idea. Then, Oates only really needs a few days to evaluate the bids to make sure that we have a legitimate, at least one legitimate bidder that meets the specifications and that we can move forward with, so instead of waiting 3 weeks for the next meeting, we've talked about scheduling a meeting for next Tuesday, the 28th, if you guys are on board with that, for the purposes of awarding the contract.
I don't think that's a problem.
And we can do it at any time. You wanna do it at 7, we can do it at 6:30, we can do it whenever.
7's the best time, just with time people, about people.
Okay. So if you guys wanna do that, and then hopefully, like he says, hopefully we got a couple of bids. I mean, I'm thinking just, you know, if perhaps we didn't get many bids, maybe we extend it. I don't know, but.
Right, we might have to if it doesn't come in looking good, we might have to rebid it. We don't know, but we'll know on Thursday.
Do we know who the plan holders are?
Yeah, but right off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. The only one I'd only heard of one of them. I hadn't heard of the other 3, so.
What are our criteria for whether we would rebid? I mean, what?
Well, I mean, number one, we have to have somebody that's gonna meet the
Qualifications.
And they actually, to get plans, they actually had to
Right, that's what I was saying.
pre-qualify.
I was gonna ask
So
that.
that already happened, cause they have to be like an IDOT,
Yeah.
they have to be qualified with IDOT.
They have to be a
They need
service
bid.
provider or.
Right, so those, we know they're pre-qualified, but then their bid, we have to make sure that,
Sure.
OTES to make sure that they bid.
They've covered everything.
They've
that
covered,
they- Yeah,
right.
RFP
And
or
Oates
whatever.
does that evaluation for us.
Oates is gonna do that, she told me they only really needed a day or two, so she said Tuesday would be fine. So they're on board with us holding a meeting on the 28th.
But they'll make that decision whether or not it needs to be extended.
They're gonna make a
Whether or not
recommendation,
they're
they're gonna make a recommendation to us, so they're
Recommendation.
either gonna say, we recommend you hire such and such company to do this at so many dollars, or we recommend we don't do that, we go back to the drawing.
Gotcha, okay.
That'd be
good.
great,
Yep,
yeah.
Good.
And I did want to mention before we accept a motion that I've been in constant contact with Madison County on the grant, and they've had some turnover, but we're all still good. And they're actually going to take the $125,000 and pay out of their pocket, so it will help with our budget even too. So they'll just pay forward, and then we'll see how much extra that we have to
That'll be
pay.
good.
So,
That'll be really good.
yeah.
Cause then the less will show up in our budget.
Right.
So
So,
we need a motion to have a special meeting.
A motion to approve.
okay, for Tuesday, the 28th.
7 p.m.
7 p.m. Okay, roll call?
Trustee Gunther?
Yes.
Sewell? Yes. Stewart?
Yes.
Ball?
Yeah.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes. Next update is on our Volkswagen senior shuttle bus. Just want to read a little bit here. We've had the Volkswagen for 7 months, and we're approaching now 30 field trips. Everything from the St. Louis Aquarium to the Botanical Gardens to the Whitman Hotel, Riverboat Cruises, movies, and the Gateway Arch. I personally went on a lot of these, and I can tell you on several occasions, I've had different seniors come up to me thanking me and saying it was such a happy day. One I remember, they said it was the best day of their life. I was wow. The folks that go have never been to these places, mostly because they're scared to drive, the hassle of parking, or just thought of going alone. These are people who have lived here most of their lives. We're planning many new trips, including Springfield, Merrimack Caverns, the Art Museum, and lots more. As great as we're doing, as all of you know, you will always have one or two people in the public who try to shed negative light on anything. They complain behind a keyboard, yet they don't have any facts or never willing to help here at the center. I want to take a moment to explain to the public and you exactly how our lease works. First, we have an agreement with MCT to lease their van for $1 a year. On top of that, we receive $5,000 in stipend for gas and maintenance. We, the township, pay for the insurance and the driver. I'm trying to work on seeing if I can get a grant to actually pay for a driver. All right, MCT does not want or suggest that we drive around an empty bus. In our lease, it states that we do not want this to be like a regular bus. We don't want it to go on regular routes because they already have those routes. I'm not going to put our lease at risk from what was not agreed upon. Right. This is for exactly what we're using it for. Right now, the only people who can drive it are township employees. I did check that, because one day I believe Matt or Clint or somebody was going to drive and they said that would work, okay? So right now it has no cost to the township taxpayers, anything extra than what we're paying for the full-time employees right now. I wanted to see where you guys were and if you felt that we should be adding money to our upcoming budget to hire a driver. Moving forward, it would be nice to add maybe a couple days a week, perhaps if we went to assisted living facilities to bring in people for lunch and for bingo. Right now, though, I don't feel like that there's the demand for more than one field trip a month. So I just wanted to open it up because I don't know if you guys saw it out there. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask because that's what we all ran on, being open and transparent and being able to have a voice. So I'm very happy with where the Volkswagen is. Do you think that we should be looking to hire a driver or, because it will add.
Did we budget money for
Well,
that?
the budget will be coming up again, it'll be starting April. I didn't budget money for
Okay,
last
then,
year.
yeah, we should put it, make the appropriation and see if we spend money.
Not to the
If we-
demand.
I mean,
And
for
that's-
once a month, we're gonna hire a driver to do what?
Well, that's what I'm
if we
saying.
wanted to do board.
that's where I'm trying to figure out like the demand, because we have to go out and create the demand, basically. That's what we have to
So
do
we're
is,
creating costs for us, is what you're saying.
yes, and I'm trying, so that's, I wanted to,
If it's not, I mean, it's working right now, we haven't had
Yes,
any
we-
issues, and the people that are driving are okay to be driving,
Yep,
and.
yep, and we do it, the goal is right now, I tasked, Kelly to come up with one trip a week, okay? And whatever that is, but the thing is, we've tried two, and some of them just don't fill up, and sure, we can do a trip, even if it's 5 people or 10 people, but I just don't wanna start.
And frankly, I mean, it's a lot of work Kelly does to coordinate that.
Well, the
right?
other-
So,
that-
I mean, not only that, but getting the reservations lined up, I mean, she does a lot of that stuff, right?
Yes, and then it takes somebody away from the center.
Yep.
Okay, and then there's also, because we don't actually do them for free, a lot of people don't know this, so say if we went to the Fox Theater, okay, and the ticket was $40, we don't charge them anything for the bus trip, for the gas or any of that, okay? We charge them for the ticket, and usually we try to get it at a discounted price, and then we'll even have a little stipend in there, okay, and I take it out of the senior fund. So it's a little bit cheaper, but they still pay, so, and to gather all that, the money and all that, it takes time and effort, yeah.
Has anybody requested to be picked up to take to a doctor's office or anything?
Not yet, I have it on the website, there's a number to call,
The county already provides that service, correct?
yes, and then there's a
And
Collinsville
maybe why
Township.
we're not really-
has their own bus.
Right.
The city has routes already.
Right.
And that's what you were referring to, is we're not gonna duplicate those routes.
They don't, and they ask
Right.
us not to, and
Right.
same thing with the MCT bus routes,
Right.
and so there's a confusion when they see, well, if somebody sees that bus just sitting there, that we're not doing our job. Well, we are, that's not what we agreed upon in the lease, it was to do
Right.
these field
I mean-
trips or go to assisted living places.
That's just an uninformed public.
I
Yeah, we
understand,
got-
and that's why I wanted to bring it up, in open.
There's no need to defend it,
No, I'm not,
yeah,
There
we're,
you go.
yeah,
So you
We're
don't really
operating under
think
the
we need
contract
to
we've
appropriate
signed.
money for a driver? We've been getting, the driver been volunteer, it's either you or
me or Kelly, yeah.
If you're okay with that, then let's. just
No, I
leave
mean, I do it
the way it is.
when I can, she doesn't like to drive to St. Louis to be, frank,
But-
so that's the biggest thing, so.
Like I said, I wouldn't.
I think if it becomes a problem, then we look at it, right? But,
Yeah,
I mean-
so I'll look, and I'll have
Yeah,
a
we
couple of
don't have
months to
make an
see.
Annual appropriation, I guess. but-
Yeah, but maybe if there is maybe a retired Unit 10 bus driver or somebody just looking for, if it's part-time or whatever, come talk to us, cause it's just,
I mean, if we could build that into the cost of the trips, I mean, right, you're talking about that stipend or whatever.
Right.
We can build the cost of that driver into the trips, I mean, what's it extra to
right,
put a
divided
driver
by
on that
15
for once a
people or
month,
something, right, exactly.
If it's a volunteer and he doesn't worry about schedule, but to put a driver on for that bus all the time when we're only gonna use
Right,
it once
that's-
a month,
that's
it's-
the-
that's,
right.
that's
I
ridiculous.
wasn't
Yeah.
thinking hire a driver, I was thinking appropriate the money to pay a driver if there became a need.
I guess we.
The next budget.
Right, if it's in the budget, but like you said, it has to be in the budget, but then we can always still, charge a little bit extra.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Can-
and then
can
it
we
would
figure
still.
out a way to
right.
cover that cost?
It's still,
once a month?
at the end of the day, it's still even, it's not costing the taxpayers, the
That's-
folks that
that's
are
where I'd
using
like
it
to
are
go
paying.
anyway.
Yeah, so I like that, okay. All right, next item on the agenda is, we did, HHH, so the resolution for the Collinsville, Women's Club Empty Bowl event. I wanna mention that, so our donations, a lot of the meat that we get, especially the meat, and there's some vegetables and things, but they have a special partnership with the St. Louis Area Food Bank, okay? And they're able to go over there and get items from
This
them.
is Tony you're talking about?
Yes, Tony
Okay.
Viviano, yeah. And anyway, so my point is, they can't, I guess the extra that they know that they don't want it to go to waste or something like that, they bring up here, okay? And we're talking ground beef, we're talking, and this is, so it saves us a lot of money. And so I think that not only does the food pantry is really good in our community, but they're also helping out the senior center and keeping the meals at $3 a piece. So anyway, I think that it's appropriate, we've done it in the past, that we donate $2,500 to this event, okay, which 100% goes to the food pantry. On top of that, though, we've been doing some fundraising in here, and so we're gonna be able to write a check if you guys approve this for $4,000. Because we've done a couple of fundraisers that all the money went to the food pantry, and we'll do that check tomorrow.
The lunches or whatever,
Yes.
they just had with the
Yeah.
music and everything,
Mhm.
good.
Yeah. So, and next year, I wanna do a few more of those events, you know, so it's not just
And
the
that's what I mean, we
taxpayers.
can continue to offset costs like that, that's genius.
Right.
I mean, that's, why wouldn't we do that?
Yep, so, anyway, so last year we did 2,500, and that's, you know, it's up to you guys.
A motion that we do that again.
Motion to approve resolution 2023-R02.
Second.
Okay. There you go.
Okay, I'll second, yeah,
All right,
second.
roll call?
Trustee Sewell,
Yeah.
Stewart,
Yes.
Ball.
Yes.
Gunther.
Yes.
Supervisor Cox.
Yes. Next
Oh, do
item.
you have a time for that check for, like?
Yeah, we're gonna do it around noon.
Okay.
Yeah, if you guys, and again, I wanna
Yeah.
invite anybody down there, you know,
Have to try my soup.
Okay.
okay? Next item on the agenda is the support of the high school student council. Jim, you know a little bit about this, so I'm gonna let you.
Right, so guess I will chat about this. So I don't know if you all remember, but probably 10 years ago, maybe even longer than that, the Collinsville High School Student Council sponsored a nationwide event. And we had over 2,000 students from all around the country. And like, I put them up at my house, and a lot of people in the community did. And it's a, you know, it's a great way to spread leadership skills throughout the country. And we are very blessed here. We have probably one of the finest student councils, not only in the state of Illinois, but in the country. And so they're doing that again this year, and they're calling it the 2023 Vision National Student Leadership Conference. And Kyle Gordon, who runs the student council, and he was like practically walks on water, is fundraising for it now, and he's soliciting funds, donations. And so I wrote up a resolution in support of that, and Derek and I talked about it, and we had suggested a $500 contribution from the township just in support of this program. And these are the same kids that also come and put on our senior prom here,
Yeah.
so.
They come and volunteer.
So it's kind of a payback for what they do for us, so.
And
Anyway,
the senior prom, we have a date, I believe it's April 14th off the top of my head, but, yeah.
So anyway, so we'll need a motion to approve resolution R03.
Okay, I motion that we approve resolution number 2023 R03.
I will second that.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
roll call.
Trustee Stewart.
Yes.
Ball.
Yes.
Gunther.
Yes.
Sewell.
Yes.
Supervisor Cox.
Yes.
We're learning.
Getting
I'm
there.
slow.
Next item on the agenda, amendment of the Collinsville Township General Assistance Income Level of Eligibility. I'd like to table this. I wasn't totally aware that it made the agenda, and I want more time to do some research on it, okay? Because, we'll just leave it at that, because I wanna see where other townships, where their levels are, how many people have we turned down because of a different level of income, and I just think that it would be best if, you guys have all the facts before we discuss.
What's the general idea is that the current levels aren't matching like the economy, right? That the costs
Yeah.
are much higher, therefore we're denying people based on lower levels of income, which they should qualify at higher because the cost of
Yeah,
living is much higher.
what I've been asked is instead of, okay, right now, the level is $1,500 a month. If you make less than $1,500 a month, you can apply for general assistance.
Yes.
We're wanting to, in this resolution, was to raise
$2,000
it to
or whatever.
$2,000 a month. Well, I have some friends who don't make $2,000 a month, and all I want, and I wanna do some more studying on this, I want to incentivize, I don't wanna be a part of the problem that I see, in society where it disincentivizes you to go to work, okay? And we wanna actually help people. And so I want to look at what those levels are, what other townships are doing. And, I talked to our attorneys actually today, and it is, that in the township code is sole supervisor, discretion. But I also want, I sat in those seats and I want you guys to have input as well. But I'm not prepared right now to.
Understood,
Okay.
and perfectly, I mean, I think that's great, if
Okay.
you're
Yeah.
tabling something for that.
Yep. Okay, last thing, my comments, I think everything is going really good. I want to, invite everybody down to the Empty Bowl, tomorrow. I wanna thank Don, our township manager, Tara, and especially Don, Tara, and Gabby. They've done a lot of the work putting this together. Don was driving a U-Haul and all the stuff down there today. I also wanna thank Jim and John, for cooking the senior center soup. They say it's a little spicy, so I hope it turns out pretty good. But anyway, if you like spicy, it might win. But anyway, I want to invite everybody down there tomorrow. Starts at 11 o'clock down at the Gateway Center. Okay?
So,
Mhm.
1 second.
Yep.
On the tabling of amendment.
Yep.
We're gonna just table that until the next regular meeting, correct?
I'm just going to table it until if we put it back on the agenda.
Well, I'm asking for it to be on the next agenda.
Oh, so you want it on the next agenda? Yeah, we
Yes.
can do that. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Is there any type of, so what's the urgency, I guess, how did we get, and we don't have to go into.
Read the attachment that came with
Gotcha.
it that I sent.
There hasn't been an adjustment in a decade.
And it's simply just a matter of catching up with the federal guidelines.
Gotcha.
We're way behind the federal guidelines.
Yes.
Understood, okay.
Okay, nothing else? Motion to adjourn?
A motion?
I'll second it.
Okay. All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you, guys.